just to set it up. But what's up? What's Michael's Great Outdoors, Adventures, Talking to Yourself, Mysteries Untold. Yeah, I wasn't quite ready there. But what's up, everybody? SrSpookfest here. Cheers. Happy Friday. I'm a little early. If you get abducted by extraterrestrials, be sure to tell them exit only. So, I'm going to do a bunch of shout outs. I wrote down a huge list of just people in the paranormal community that I've watched, and they've helped me get to where I am for amount of subscribers and like just watching some of my paranormal investigations. I got a lot of stuff done out in Iowa, but what's up, Punk? Let's pour a drink. Happy Friday, guys. So I had a lot of fun in Iowa, but I didn't get to go to Farrar School, which I really wanted to go, but it was a little too much money for after we got out there, driving out there. So at least I got to do the abandoned farm next door. Nothing really happened, but I have had weird feelings in that place. It's a rather old farm. I forget the date the lady told me it was built. I should have talked to her more. Cheers, fight people. Hey, Wisdom. Just about done what you're doing and just wanted to say hey. Sarah Bowman, hello. Pinky, hello. Sam Hain, Campfire Chills, what's up, dude? Andy. So, yeah, you could share links because I'm going to be shouting all you guys out too that I'm pretty sure everybody in here. I wrote a list and it took me like maybe an hour to make sure I had everybody because I got more than one page. And I was like trying to make sure I'm not missing somebody. Some of these are big channels. A lot of these are just small channels that are in the paranormal. I've talked to, I've watched. I try and keep up and watch a lot of stuff. But Michael Birkin, Mysteries Untold, was number one. And then he has Great Outdoor Adventures. That's his second channel. Check him out. Michael does music. He does ghost stories, paranormal stuff like walking through the woods, and he's very fun. It's a lot of cool stuff. The next one is Friday House XYZ. So if you look up Friday House XYZ, you'll find James, and he is very technical, very smart guy. I like hanging out, talking to him. He has some great ideas for putting more science into the paranormal field of research. So check out Friday House. Appy Droid Development. He makes equipment and stuff. You can actually buy some of his equipment. He takes paranormal equipment and makes it a little bit better. So that's Appy Droid Development. 2-Ply Paranormal. He's very funny investigator. Does a lot of live chats and stuff. He's a rather funny guy. I've seen some of his investigations. They do a good job. Let's see. APRF Paranormal Investigators. That's another paranormal investigator. Good channel. Check out APRF Paranormal Investigators. I'm just going to go through this as quick as I can and maybe say something about each one, but Area 52 or Chris Ramsey. Area 52, very good channel, all about UFOs, aliens, disclosure, some of the disclosure files you probably never read. Chris Ramsey, he does magic and sleight of hand and does other puzzles and stuff. I've done some of the puzzles he does. Very fun channels. Check out Chris Ramsey. He also went to Monroe Institute for out-of-body experiences. I've had those, so interested in that. Bad to the Bone Paranormal. She does a lot in the paranormal community, like just talking about everything paranormal, and she swears a lot. Warning. Bad Cat Paranormal. I think she might be live right now. I've watched Bad Cat for a long time, and she does a good job with investigations. It's a fun channel to watch, so check out Bad Cat Paranormal. Barry Stepp. Barry Stepp has a lot of... Hi, Mystic Nemo. Hi, everybody. So Barry Stepp does a lot of the weirdest videos on the internet today, or like really weird stuff. A lot of paranormal stuff on his channel, or stuff going on in the world. the earthquakes, the floods, the fires, the crazy like secret societies. He covers pretty much everything. Paranormal, UFO, he does everything. So check out Barry Stepp. He's a bigger channel, but he's really cool. And he takes like a serious look at stuff. He's not always like, oh, that was just a ghost all of a sudden. Jasmine is great, yes. Bad Cat. I'll try and keep up with chat too, but I'm just going to keep going. I still got like a whole page. Where was I? Beardo Gets Scared. He's definitely helped me get some subscribers. He does, debunking, and he's a paranormal investigator. Really fun channel. A lot of people on there. Everybody in here knows Beardo, pretty sure. Black Mass Paranormal. Black Mass Paranormal is a little different. He goes out looking for wild people, or Bigfoot, or cryptids, and he goes in the deep woods. Usually the Appalachian Mountains around here. I'm in Virginia. The Shenandoah Valley, all the way up and down. He does Tennessee, he does all sorts of places, so near you, Michael. Black Mass Paranormal, that guy Brian, I've been watching him for years, and yeah, he's had some weird things. He's found footprints out in the mud. And I tend to believe what he's finding, because he's just taking an electric bike going way out in the woods. And so check out Black Mass Paranormal. Blurry Creatures podcast, they just talk about all the stuff I love. It's a podcast talking about all the weird. So that's Blurry Creatures. Boo Productions Paranormal Toledo. That's a good one, check him out. Broken Capital, another good one. If you're looking for like real paranormal, most of these are people really trying to find paranormal. Like they're just trying to go out, see what they can capture, and put it up on YouTube, which is great. Carl Crusher, a lot into the UFO subject, and even some creatures. He covers a lot too. Casper Sight. Casper Sight's one of my favorites. I've been watching him for 7 years probably, and it's just fun to watch his reaction. He's a reaction channel, and he does have some interviews with some people that I was very interested in about UFOs, and he just had Patty Greer on about crop circles, and yeah, I know crop circles, right, they're all fake, but I don't think that they're all fake. Some have radiation, some show up overnight, and they're size of a football field. There's no way that, it would take 50 people to go out there and do it overnight, and just the radiation and the beam stalks bent over in a certain way, and the nodes on the plants actually explode from the inside out. There's some odd things about crop circles. I do believe in some crop circles are real, and a lot of them are over in England. There's specific spots over there that they happen way more than anywhere else. Have you ever camped in a bothy in the UK? Pinky asked Sam Ham. I have, way back in my youth. I've never even thought about that. I've seen some videos of people sleeping in the bothy. It's like a little cabin out in the middle of nowhere. Some creepy ones in those cabins. Where was I? Yeah, I got a lot. Casper Site, Central Mass Paranormal, that's Susan. She's really cool. I've talked to her. She did an interview of me just about Bridgewater Triangle, my hometown where I grew up in the Bridgewater Triangle. And she's really cool. So that's Central Mass Paranormal. Check her out. Check out Chris Fat Rabbit, does some amazing artwork. He's just sitting there drawing with a pencil, and it's like photorealistic drawings. It's pretty amazing. And Chris Fat Rabbit's really funny. If you ever get to talk to him, I've talked to him. Maybe last year I talked to him a couple times, and he's hilarious. Chris Fat Rabbit, Chris Yule. Chris Yule does mostly video games and stuff, but he's a buddy of mine. He helped, he's just really cool. Fun video games, fun videos he does. There's a guy named Dancer, and if you've never, just type in Dancer on YouTube, and then maybe Bohemian Grove. This kid is the one that went into Bohemian Grove. If you don't know what that is, it's a secret society place where all the elites go in a camp up in the redwoods. And he went and peed on the effigy that they do the sacrifice, fake sacrifice to, the curation of care or something like that. So you could see him go to different areas. He rides trains. Dancer's really cool. He does like exploration of all sorts of different places, not just abandoned places, but he actually went into Bohemian Grove and snuck around and looked at everything. Summer is short nights in the UK, about 6 hours. Meanwhile, geez, do you have daylight savings in the UK? Is your time change at the end of September or April? Yeah, Pomp, not a lot of time to crop circle. I know people don't really believe in crop circles because some guys came out and said they did them, but there are crop circles that don't make sense. Why would there be radiation out in the middle of a field in the crop circles? I find them interesting because I do know that UFOs exist. I've seen one. I'll be talking all about all my paranormal and UFO experiences throughout my life after this. I'll just gotta finish the shouting out. Let's see. Chris Yule, Dancer, Datsun 510. I haven't seen him around in a little while, but he does do videos and some paranormal and some other stuff, I do believe. Datsun 510's cool. Really nice guy. Dawson Toller. Dawson does a lot of stuff that I want to go and do. I believe he did the Farrar School before I did, and I didn't watch anything on the Farrar School, and I was going to go, just didn't have the money, and it was like an hour and a half from where we were, just driving. We did a 20-hour drive to Iowa, and we drove straight there. But check out Dawson Toller, he's cool. Cheers, all you people. Yeah, he does a lot of investigating, and he's done some places I want to go. Yeah, some are not fake because they're too complex. I agree, Sir Pump. You like Dawson. I like Dawson. He does a good job with his investigations. That's why I started watching him. But that was a long time ago. That was probably 2 years ago. Dawson, debunk the junk. Debunk stuff, obviously. Debunk the junk. Entity 7 Paranormal, Joe Vitale. He'll probably tell you that's lame. He does do debunking, he does investigating. He's gone to a lot of places I want to go. Joe Vitale. Entity 7 Paranormal. Face the Ace. Face the Ace does a lot of stuff that's fun to watch on YouTube. Ghostus Paranormal. Ghostus talks a lot about all the paranormal stuff. Ghost Pirate Entertainment. Ghost Pirate Entertainment's not an investigator or anything like that. He is a movie recommendation, as you can see. I kind of like horror movies and, Star Wars and stuff. Obviously, I love horror movies, so if you're looking for recommendations, go to Ghost Pirate Entertainment and you can find some movies you've never seen, especially all horror, weird sci-fi. Some are funny horror. Some of them are mathematical equations. Some crop circles came back that equal pi, a radial, a nautical shell, the exact numbers of it, like perfect dimensions, not a millimeter off. So I don't know how a person would do that with a board and some string, but okay. And the other thing is that some have come back, like Arecibo has come back in corn or wheat, and Arecibo was a message we sent out with our location of Earth, our DNA, what people look like, what Earth is kind of like, and we got the message back, but it came with a little guy with a fat head and different DNA, and it's actually one of the more interesting crop circles. I'm not sure how they would even do that with boards and sticks. It'd be really hard to do, to put a whole message like Arecibo into a field. So Ghost Pirate Entertainment's awesome. Ghost Theory, another good paranormal investigators. Um, Ghost Quest. Ghost Quest is awesome. If you have not checked out Ghost Quest and seen the documentary on Carmel, Maine, how he debunks a lot of what Carmel, Maine was saying they got. But then Ghost Quest, in those trying to document and debunk some of him, he actually caught some stuff, I believe, in his documentary that may be real paranormal, which is interesting. Grim Life Collective, I've just watched them forever because they travel around to different movie locations, usually horror movies, scary things. They go through haunted houses, stuff like that. Grim Life Collective, another really fun one. Yeah, some of the crop circles line up with star charts and different geolocations, ley lines, weird stuff. Mystic Meemaw. Do you remember the fad called Video Bowl, where people would break out into a video routine in random places? I remember, what the hell, flash mobs and stuff like that. I'm not sure, Wisdom. All good, Michael Birkin. I love your doggy. Take care of your dog. Don't let him poop in the house. So, Grim Life Collective. Oh, High Spirits. I've known for a long time. I still owe High Spirits a wand. I gotta make him one and send him one. It's been forever. Probably 2 years I've meant to give him some. So, High Spirits does a lot of cool stuff. You can check him out. Yeah, Flash Mob. There was another one where music would all of a sudden start and everyone would go crazy. I forget what that was called. Flash mobbing, yeah. I forget what the song was, but people would go nuts when the song came on and everybody would just go crazy, and that, I forget what that was called. Let's see. Horrors. Horror is very good. I think Carla. I'm bad with names. I'm hoping that's her name. But she does a lot. Talks to Rawside Paranormal Laura a lot, and is just in the paranormal community. She works at a graveyard. She does a lot talking about paranormal stuff. She has had paranormal experiences, stuff like that. She's cool. Jay Cart's Arts. I watch every once in a while. I do try and keep up. He's really cool. Definitely talks about everything paranormal, like tries to cover all subjects. Anything in the paranormal field this list is for. J-Men's, or That Is Impossible channel. That's Impossible channel. If you've never seen That's Impossible channel. Or J-Mez, which is Jaymez, is really good. So That's Impossible channel. I've been watching him for years. He does something like Barry Step, where he covers everything. Strange weather phenomena, secret societies, UFOs, ghosts, paranormal, weird happenings. So that's a fun one. Check out That's Impossible channel. John Boy Patton. I put Kenny Biddle. Watch out, Kenny Biddle is super skeptical, but he still has paranormal stories. I know he's had paranormal experiences, but very scientific, very down to earth. So that's Kenny Biddle, and then Mad Paranormal Investigators. She's awesome, and Derek. I'm not sure. I'm getting all confused because I'm going through everybody, and I try and remember their names, but they do some, reaction videos to paranormal, and then she'll go live a lot, and I believe we're cousins. I had known about Mad Paranormal way before, but Casper Site did cover a video of theirs that they caught some evidence. So I started talking to Mad Paranormal, and we found out we have the same last name. And where she lives, my family the McDonald family actually live over in Ireland, and she looks kind of like my Aunt Peggy or my Aunt Noreen, and she looks like part of my family. So I was like, "Are we related?" And she told me her last name. We chatted, and I'm pretty sure we're like cousins or something, which is crazy to randomly come across another paranormal investigator that you might be related to randomly through YouTube just doing this stuff. And maybe I found more relatives. Kenny is a very nice guy to chat with. He has so much info, Kenny Biddle. It's insane. I would love to read his, like, go through his library. I kind of wonder if it was someone growing grass in someone's cornfield and removing the evidence when it was done growing. Um, the problem with that is that the corn or wheat stalks have radiation, and the nodes or the knuckles, like the knuckle of the plant, explodes from the inside out. And some of these things are weaved, not just laid down, they're actually weaved together. So crop circles is still a subject I will look into. I know there's UFOs, I've seen them. I've seen more than one UFO. I'll be telling that story in a minute. It is a good theory, though, Wisdom. Sam Hames saying, yeah, I mean, there are ways you can manipulate fields, but the amount of money and work, and it wouldn't happen overnight, or you would notice a bunch of people in your field overnight, and what's with the radiation, or sometimes there's odd magnetic fields, or they'll find little tiny metal spheres in the fields. They have found stuff in fields that does not make sense after a crop circle shows up. I've never seen a crop circle. I did look up in Iowa if there were any crop circles around in Iowa because of all the corn. I didn't see any, no reports for when I was out there, so I didn't get to go to one, but I do want to go to a crop circle someday. Got a book. I want to book Mark and spin the wheel, and Kenny has on his live streams. Nice. That's awesome, Pinky. Cows rolling in the field and making crop circles. That'd be an impressive cow. That cow, wouldn't you think it would more come out like, I don't know, what was a cow like? Grass? I don't know what they would write. A cow would write something else. Mad Paranormal Investigators, Mark's Random Curiosities. So Mark's Random Curiosities has been around a while with me, so check him out, Mark's Random Curiosities. Mythos Paranormal, he does fun debunks and some investigating. Mythos. Where was I? Not Too Haunted. He does some paranormal investigating. Check out Natu. Noah Faraday, he does some debunking, some abandoned exploration, he does a lot of actual like paranormal investigating. I think he's more going towards debunking now, but Noah Faraday is an awesome guy. Check him out. And he's up in Mass where I grew up. Hopefully one day I'll do like a live stream with him or something. That'd be fun to go on an investigation with him. Cool guy. PNC Paranormal. PNC Paranormal's been around for me for a long time. I've been watching them for a long time. Good investigators, do a lot of stuff just chatting throughout the whole paranormal community. A lot of these are just people I've met through the paranormal community or on like Beardos or just through any, you guys all know a lot of these, but oh, good. Maybe he'll send you that book, Pinky. PNC Paranormal, Paranormal by the Sea. I've watched a good amount of them. They do good paranormal investigations. Paranormal Poet. Paranormal Poet's a really fun one. He's a good guy. I've talked to him a few times. Paranormal Proof 666. Parasolo, so Parasolo and Paranormal Proof 666 do investigating. Paranormal Poet is just into all that stuff, the same stuff we are. I don't think Paranormal Poet investigates, but he has some cool stuff. Fun guy to talk to. Parple's really fun to watch. He does like video games and debunking. He's like a professional in editing and like, you know, the masking and knowing when videos are fake. Parple's pretty cool. Check him out. Planet Weird. Planet Weird is a big one for me because I love the Newkirks. They have paranormal podcasts. They have, you know, just they've done movies. They've done documentaries. So Hellier is one of my favorite shows. And then The Unbinding. And they bring out artifacts sometimes of paranormal stuff that they've collected. They have a cool podcast, so definitely check out Planet Weird. PSI is an old one that they do a lot of paranormal research, and he's a really cool guy. Raven does a lot of like video games and is just in the paranormal community, talking, you know, to everybody. I'm sure a lot of people know Raven. She's awesome, and she's probably my only rival for horror movie knowledge. She almost beat me one time, I believe, on Crow of Judas's talking about horror movies, and we were doing trivia. So check out Raven. Then you got Laura, Ross-Eyed Paranormal. A lot of people know Ross-Eyed Paranormal. Let me read what you guys are saying. Yeah, spooky stories and narration. Good guy. Hang out with his channel on Saturdays and Wednesdays. Yeah, Wisdom. Paranormal Poet's awesome. Yes, Raven is very lovely, Pinky. Mostly just listening. I'm getting there, because I'm gonna shout you out, Wisdom. Wisdom does awesome music. Check out Ross-Eyed, because she does a lot of interviews with the paranormal community, and Laura is just lovely. She does a lot. Like, I don't even know how to say how much she does. That a lot of the smaller people that do paranormal, like really trying to find the paranormal. I've talked to her a few times. Laura's awesome. Check out Ross-Eyed. Real Evidence Paranormal. Another paranormal team. Sam Hames, Campfire Chills. There you go, buddy. I tried to do these in order, kinda, on how I subscribed or through the alphabet. So check out Sam Hames, Campfire Chills. Awesome guy. I believe Michael Birkins talked to him a few times. What else do I got? Small Town Monsters. That's just another thing that covers a lot of the paranormal stuff. So Small Town Monsters is a fun one. Spaghetti alla Paranormal. He's been doing wrestling with all the paranormal community, and they're like little video game clips of people wrestling and stuff. It's really fun to watch. No problem, Sam Hain. I try and keep up and watch all your guys' stuff. It's really hard. Especially when I was traveling out in Iowa and stuff. I've been gone a little while. Cheers. Happy Friday. I'm glad I grabbed a second beer because I'm almost out of that one. You gonna get in on the wrestling? He could make me a wrestler. That'd be fun. I love wrestling. I was a Hulk Hogan. Hey, get you on shooting the shit, Wisdom, sometime if you want. It'd be a good idea because Wisdom does so much like awesome music. He's been in the paranormal like field and community talking to everybody, so he has a good view of all these channels pretty much that I'm talking about. Yeah, I would do that, and maybe you guys could compare music and do some more music. Do a live music show. Let's see. Sam Hames, Campfire Chills, Small Town Monsters, Spaghetti a la Paranormal. Oh, Spectral Whispers. That's my sister-in-law. If you ever have questions about Lizzie Borden or the Borden House, everybody knows Lizzie Borden. She's like a professional. She has done all the research. She knows everything there pretty much is to know about Lizzie Borden. I've been next to the house. I've never been in the Lizzie Borden house, but I put the roof on next to that house. She's definitely been there. I think Laura, or Rawside Paranormal Laura, is interviewing one of the workers at the Borden house. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her father 40 whack. Yeah, that. If you want to talk to somebody about that like type of thing, she knows a lot about it. She has a lot of experiences. So Spectral Whispers on YouTube. She's awesome. She has chickens and she does, birdie videos. She has a parrot. She does fun videos. But when we go up there, I think we're going up there in like 2 weeks. Me and her are going to go out on another investigation. Me and her did the abandoned railroad track in Bridgewater Triangle, and that's when we heard what sounds like a monkey out in the woods. Me, her, and some of her friends that do the paranormal radio show up there. I can't remember the name of it because I've been saying too many names. Central Mass Paranormal might know, Susan. I can't remember the radio show, but we actually called into them that night to tell them where we were and what was going on. Small Town Monsters, Real Evidence Paranormal, Sam Hames. I'm going back up the list like an idiot. Spectral Whispers, Spooky Appalachia. Spooky Appalachia I met once at Mothman, and I found his channel from a sticker on a sign next to the Mothman statue. And he does like a live feed of Mothman, and he talks about West Virginia and all those like type of things over there. So check out Spooky Appalachia. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. CC does music like Wisdom and really cool music, fun to listen to. Sunday Cool is like another podcast that covers all the weird and strange anomalies and weird cult-like activity and weird stuff going on. So check out Sunday Cool or Ninjas Are Butterflies. Sir Pomp, if you're still here, I gave you a shout out because Pomp's coming out with videos. So check out Sir Pomp, P-O-M-P. P-O-M-P. The Bridgewater Triangle Paranormal Investigators. I investigated with him once out near my sister-in-law's house, Spectral Whispers. That's Harry, and the Bridgewater Triangle Paranormal Investigators do a lot of research and try and go out in the Bridgewater Triangle and find some more of this evidence. Spook lights, ghosts, paranormal around that area. There's high activity in the Bridgewater Triangle. Hi, Spectral Whispers, I just shouted you out. So check out Harry on the Bridgewater Triangle Paranormal Investigators. I told him one of my stories when me and Spectral Whispers actually saw a ghost light, and he wrote like it's like a 2-page thing on it and a little story, and it is an old legend in the area. At the abandoned railroad track, you'll see a guy carrying a lantern down the abandoned railroad tracks, and we caught that on camera, me and Spectral Whispers there. And we still don't know what the hell that was. There shouldn't have been a light like that out in the woods. It's a spook light, that's what we call it. The Bud Files, that's another one. Check him out. The Occult Life, Mariah does a lot in the paranormal community. She investigates. I think she just did like a UFO investigation. She's always talking. It's usually right before like Beardo goes live. The Occult Life, Mariah talks a lot about all of the things I love with the mysteries and like old locations that have like, weird happenings going on, where like Mount Kailash or the weird experiments, MK Ultra stuff, and like she talks about everything. So check out The Occult Life. The Ouija Brothers, really good paranormal investigators. They're a much bigger channel. They're very good. The Paranormal Monkey Podcast, Justin, does a great job. A lot of interviews with people, just talking about the weird and strange. I think his last one was out-of-body experiences and, you know, astral projecting or stuff like that, which was fun. I was on there talking to him about it because I've had those experiences. So check out the Paranormal Monkey Podcast. The Shape, great debunker. A lot of fun just to watch his little debunks, and he makes it funny, and it's really fun to watch The Shape. The Side-Eye Guy, or Seg, I haven't watched him in a little while, but I did see some of his later stuff, like recently. I think he went with Colin and did some stuff. Seg's really fun, very serious, and doesn't believe any paranormal, but it's also he's looking for paranormal, and he has a funny mask. It's fun to watch, so check out Side-Eye Guy. The Y-Files is a big one, just for the history and stories of locations and stuff like that. It is fun to talk to you guys. We're at Mysteries Untold. You, James, Matt, yeah, it's really fun. Spooky Light, that's cool. Spook lights, I've seen multiple times throughout my life. Usually just a small baseball-sized orb, different colors, blue, yellow, I've seen white. Some people have said they've seen red and like green. I believe Michael's seen a green one, but I think what he saw was a UFO. Hecklefish. Yeah, Hecklefish is funny. So Y-Files is a good one if you want to learn some history and legends of weird stuff going on the planet. That's a fish. Hecklefish is funny. Walking the Weird, she does a great job. She explores a lot of locations that are historical. So check out Walking the Weird. Weeping Willow Paranormal, another good one to check out. Wild and Weird West Virginia, or on YouTube it will be Wild and Weird WV. I talked to them a lot. I didn't get to go meet them this time because I didn't stay in West Virginia, but I do plan on going looking for Mothman. I even got a sticker that's the Mothman search team. I'm going to be going to the TNT area eventually. I want to stay in Point Pleasant. Some of the best pizza too. If you go get the Mothman pizza, it's amazing. Wild and Weird West Virginia is a great channel. Wisdom, there you are. Wisdom has amazing music, and he's a really cool guy. Been through the paranormal community and doing this, I don't know, it's probably been more than a year now. So check out Wisdom, he's got some great music. World of Mr. Gray, he's got paranormal bingo bollocks and debunks stuff, talks about the paranormal. Mr. Gray is really cool. I would like to let me ask for the link to Mysteries channel. I can't, I don't know how to do it. Somebody, Spectral Whispers, if you're still here, could you put up Mysteries Untold? And if any of those you don't know, go check them out. I'm done. I don't know if I hit everybody. I don't know. I don't think that's all of them. That's not everybody that I watch, but that's all I could muster writing down. There's a lot of people that I watch in the paranormal community and appreciate a lot, because I wouldn't be here without you guys. So I'm going to get another beer, and then I'm going to start. I think I'll tell my first UFO experience story, and then we'll go on to Shadow Kid, the other stuff that's happened to me paranormally, other UFO story. Let me grab my beer. Hi, babe. Did you get a good nap? I left the fridge open for you. hey, you forgot my favorite team. I don't know your favorite team. I see the people I forgot. I'm sorry, but I can always do this again. There may be another one where I just shout out people that I watch on YouTube to get movie stuff, or weird sci-fi stuff, or funny ones. Oh, I poured way too much head on that beer. I gotta wait a minute. But cheers, you guys. You can come sit next to me. You won't even be on camera. So, Staffordshire Paranormal Explorers. You know what? I've probably said hi to them. I'll add that one to the list. I'll have to check them out more because I'm sure I've probably watched them. I've watched so many now at this point. I got my buddy here, Greg. I took a rock from Mothman Museum that's like right outside the Mothman Museum, and then that's a little piece of map. A little map that I found in a puzzle box to help me solve the clue to get Blackbeard's treasure. It was a compass. But yeah, if you guys have recommendations for shoutouts that maybe I forgot, go for it. Put them in there. Okay. Let's go to my first UFO experience. So I'm thinking I was about 15. I might have been 14 or 15. I was up in Maine camping with my sister, and me and my sister and our friends, 3 of my friends. It was 9:30, 10 at night. We're going to go down to the beach, and it's a nice big lake surrounded by mountains. And we walk out onto the beach, and a giant orange orb is sitting above the lake, maybe 100, 200 feet above the lake. And you could see the reflection of this orb over the, like, on the water of the lake. And it's like sun, like, I don't know, burnt orangey color. And you could look at it and it didn't hurt your eyes. But probably the size of a small house, like, big. It was big enough to be like, what the fuck is this? It stayed there maybe 10 seconds, 13, 14 seconds, I don't know. But long enough for me to wave at it. And me and my friends are all in shock staring at this. My sister is standing next to me. I actually have a live chat talking about this with my sister Nikki. The parents didn't believe us. You saw a firework or a flare. It was not. It was a giant orange orb floating above the lake. I'm waving at it. Me and my friends, after it zoomed off like impossible speed, zoomed out into nothing. So I knew what it was immediately when I was young. I was a kid, waving at it like an idiot. And for months afterwards, I had a dream of being in the spot where the UFO was above the lake, waving down at my sister and my friends on the beach. I still have that dream once in a while. It happened a couple times after I saw another UFO in Yorktown not too long ago, this past, 2024. And yeah, it was just a UFO. The parents were like, what are you guys on? Did you guys take drugs? What are you talking about? And every person went to their parents and told them. So I think it was me, Nikki, that's my sister, Scott, my friend, Scotty Too Hottie, and he went and told his parents, and then it might have been Lindsay and Nicole and my friend Josh. And we all saw it and knew what it was. And some research says orange orb UFOs are doing a scan. Green is like passive, just flying by. Blue means something else. Red means dangerous. Different color orbs mean different things for the UFO things. Like, and after I saw that, I just knew that UFOs, real paranormal UFOs and orbs, are not a joke. It wasn't ball lightning. It wasn't anything like that. ring actually fell apart. I had to take this off. I broke my ring. Dang. It's bugging me. Yeah, I gotta get a new ring. Oh, thank you. I love my background. I usually have a whole bunch of stuff in the map in black behind me, but I just haven't set it back up yet. So I just hung this up. Favorite movie, The Thing. I love Critters too. Yeah, so that was my first UFO experience. I guess I'll tell you the Yorktown one too, because I'm talking about UFOs. So I was driving through Yorktown last year doing deliveries. Friday House. That orb is so dangerous. That orb is so dangerous. That orb is so bad orb. Cheers. Sir Pump, did you go for a swim earlier? I did. Cool. I do love swimming. We gotta go to the ocean soon, so we can go swim in the water's gotta be warm. Good. Just. Go to work someday. I shouted you out, by the way. I have a huge list of people to shout out. So, Yorktown UFO. What I was not expecting when I was doing deliveries, I was driving through back roads of old Yorktown. And Yorktown here in Virginia is a very haunted area. There's battlefields and old Civil War stuff and Revolutionary War, the War of 1812. Middle of the woods, I kind of got lost and didn't realize my GPS had taken me 3 miles from my destination. And I ended up at the back part of the Yorktown airport. And me and the car in front of me slowed down around these old corners, and we could see the airport lights. And a plane, what looked like a regular airplane, flying like right above the tree line, goes past, turns into a red orb, and shot off. So I started recording immediately after that, but that was no joke. Naomi, hello. Long time no see, what's up? Friday House, Sir Pomp, Pinky, you guys all rock, thanks for coming in. So when I saw that, I started filming the red, I tried to film the red orb, but I had stopped right at the airport. And no plane landed. The red orb, what it looked like a regular airplane coming in for a landing, turned into a red orb and shot off. Now, I knew immediately what it was because I've had that orange orb up in Maine when I was a teenager. That happened before. So I already knew that something was mimicking an airplane, or it was so low that I thought the airplane was going to crash into the trees. Cheers, cat. Hello. So, when I saw that, I started filming immediately. I showed part of the airport. I was freaking out. Drove the 3 miles back, delivered the package, and asked the people that I was delivering the package to if they saw any weird things in the sky. They said no. There is an airport right over there, though, so it was probably just a plane. Maybe it was one of those drones, and it just had turned to one big red light and took off, but fast. And I mean, the same way the first orb I had experienced zoomed off into space, this thing did that. And I had a good view of it. The car in front of me slowed down and almost stopped, and then kept driving, and I stopped at the back end of the airport, looking both ways. No plane had landed. I could see the airport. There was no plane on the strip. So that was a really weird one. I have seen one out in front of my house and filmed it, and a lot of people said it's a rocket launch. So then I looked up Norfolk Military Base, because I'm right across from Norfolk Military Base, to see if any rocket launchers had been listed for that night, because they put that on the public record. No rocket launches for that night. It was like 9:30, 10 at night, and it looked like a light, but like like a triangle, and just shooting off, and then it just disappears. If it was a rocket launch, you probably would have seen it longer. That is one of my videos on my Ghost Hunts and More playlist. It's an unidentified thing because I couldn't identify it. It definitely wasn't a plane. It definitely wasn't a helicopter. Never seen something like that before. You've probably seen some videos of, like, this thing had a tail of light and it was just a triangle going through the sky. Only Real UFOs put it on his channel because he also looked up if Norfolk Military Base had any launches that night. They did not. Maybe it was a secret rocket launch, but I don't know. This thing, the way it moved, because I looked at it for a minute or two and it was just an orb of white light, and I'm thinking helicopters coming towards us slowly, but then it grew a tail and a triangle shape takes off. So you can look that up, and it's on my Ghost Hunts and More paranormal playlist. Okay, so I told you my UFO stuff. Now I'm going to tell you about my first real experience seeing a ghost or a shadow kid. Paul A. Dever. Paul A. Dever in Taunton was Bridgewater Triangle, Massachusetts. Me and my friends, it's a few days before Halloween, me and 7 of my friends go to Paul A. Dever. There's 20 abandoned buildings. They all have tunnels underneath connecting each other. So we go through all the tunnels. I have an old Hi8 video camera. I'm recording, and my light on my camera was the best light, so I was like in front filming all of it. So for maybe 2 hours we walked through all these tunnels. There's a couple miles of tunnels. Hey Parasolo, I gave you a shout out. I hope you're doing great, man, and work is over soon for you. So the shadow kid at Paul A. Dever in Taunton. I was maybe 17, going through all these tunnels with 7 of my friends, walking through, dirty old tunnels, abandoned buildings, all on this abandoned asylum. Now this place had been army camps, a Native American settlement before that. Then it turned into a school for the mentally ill and mentally challenged. Then it turned into, housing for mentally unwell people in an old asylum with a bunch of buildings. At one point, I think it had 25 buildings on it. And these are big brick buildings, like big buildings. And there was tunnels connecting all the buildings. So we go through, we're all freaking out a little, getting creeped out. There's like dirt and rats, and it's all freaky. We're on our way out. You had to climb up a window that was maybe like chest height and climb up and out. It was the only window open in one of the buildings. Well, all 7 of us are standing there waiting for our friend Casey to jump out the window, like climb up and get out so we can all go out one by one. A little kid standing in front of the window, like 4 feet tall, full black shadow, like dark black, but you could kind of see through him, standing in the tall grass outside the window. I'm like, we all thought right away when we first saw him, a girl next to me screamed. I thought security or something, and then I'm realizing this is like a little kid. I'm like, what the hell is a little kid doing out here in the middle, like, of an abandoned place, an abandoned asylum, and there's nobody around here. They did have some security, but it was just like one car that would go around the place every hour. And so I'm watching, and you can see this little shadow kid run through the tall grass, and the grass move. So I'm like, that's a real kid or something. Hop out the window right after my friend Casey and go, did you see that? And I start running across the field. He has no idea what I'm talking about. He did not see it, but it was like right here to him. So I'm thinking he looked through it, but everyone else behind him saw this. We all get out this window, run across the field. He had run into a brick wall into the building across the way and disappeared into the wall. And like 5 or 6 of us saw it out of 7. what the fuck was that? We went looking. We went looking in. We tried to get in that building. It was all boarded up and locked up. We couldn't get in the building. We walked around the whole building, calling out like, "Hello, kid. Hello, kid." Nobody around. No reason for that. We all knew what we had seen. We started to leave. Security did come by. We all had to hide in bushes. When we did leave, right before we left, my friend Wayne's Nextel went off, and the security guard had a Nextel, and blurp bleep, like the blurp bleep thing, went, "Hello, blurp bleep, hello," and talking on his Nextel. The security guard thought he heard a Nextel go off, but it did, because my buddy Wayne, we almost got caught. We did not get caught. We left. But that asylum now is an old folks home, and they turned it into other stuff, so you can go, like, you know, put old people in there. And I wouldn't want to live on that land. It's definitely haunted. So that was my first shadow person at, like, 17 years old. I've had so many experiences at this point, from UFO to ghosts to voices in my ear. It's hard to just say like all this, and hopefully you take it, you know, you could take it with a grain of salt, but this is stuff that really happened to me, stuff that I have other witnesses with me at the time. So I should interview my best friend Wayne on that, because I know he saw it, the Shadow Kid. I should start to talk to those people and see if they want to do an interview, if they will. I haven't talked to my buddy Casey or the two girls that were with me in a long time. I could, and just to have a second person talk about it would be good. So, more paranormal experiences. I lived at Middleborough, Massachusetts, right next to, if you know what the Oliver House is. Hold on, let's slow down. Sam Hain, night all, later, dude. I don't want to end up in an old folks home. Me neither. Yeah, it's always good for confirmation. That's why I did the interview with my sister about the UFO, because there was somebody else that had seen that same UFO with me. Have a good night, dude. I know Sam Hain's over in Scotland, so who knows what time it is for him. So, living in Middleborough, next to 4 houses from the Oliver House. If you've never heard of the Oliver House, that's a big paranormal haunted spot. I love that place. I've gone to it once. I didn't get to go inside, but I've walked around the building a couple times. So I'm living in Middleborough at my fiance's house, Alicia, and I heard footsteps coming down the staircase. Now this house was General Tom Thumb's house. If you don't know Tom Thumb, or Carriage House, it was his carriage house. Tom Thumb was a little person, or a midget, that was in Barnum and Bailey's circus. He was a famous small person, and he was like an actual general. I think he got knighted. His wife's house was right behind this house that we're living at, and my wife, well, my fiance Alicia had told me that they have a shadow person. I forget his name, but probably better I don't say it. And I watched somebody come down the stairs, like a shadow figure come down these stairs. I could hear the stairs, they're wooden stairs. I thought one of the kids came downstairs at first, so I kind of ignored it. But 2, 3 in the morning, seen this person, shadow person, come down the stairs, and then nobody was around. I even went upstairs, the kids are sleeping, there's nobody around. I had heard this and seen this, and Alicia goes, yeah, that was the ghost of this house that used to actually freak her out sometimes. I forget his name, but that house was remodeled and sold, and is like General Tom Thumb's old carriage house, and Tom Thumb's wife's house is right behind that. Yeah, Spectral Whispers will know about this. After he died, she remarried. Yep. His wife's house, see? She knows more than I do. He went after him big time. Oh. Yeah. I I never thought I'd see another shadow person. That was my second shadow person. My next shadow person was at Fort Monroe near me here, running across a building. The top of a building which ended and is like a 25-foot drop, which this shadow person just went right across and would have fallen 30 feet. So it wasn't a person. And I was doing a live chat at Fort Monroe in Virginia here. He never bothered anyone else. Yeah, Spectral Whispers. So I just got lucky and seen him one time. And no, his house belongs to his wife and her new husband. Oh. That's a worry. If autocorrect turns linked to kink, wonder what it turns hunt into. Oh no. So that house definitely had, I would say, a shadow person. Um, Fort Monroe, definitely haunted. They talk about that in an old book I have about Fort Monroe. Even people back during the Civil War and Revolutionary War and stuff talked about seeing shadow people running on the battle, like the ramparts, the big walls up on the. So I've seen that. I didn't catch it on camera. Unfortunately, there were tree branches in the way. But so yeah, I can definitely say I've seen 3 shadow people. The only other time I thought I saw a shadow person was at Willoughby Spit on the beach. And I had turned around, thought I saw somebody standing next to the ocean, and that's right across the street from me here. And then I felt like somebody was right behind me. So I think I ended that investigation and left. But yeah, I've had so many experiences that it's gotten to the point where I have to just tell these stories and talk about it. Oh yeah, perfect beer. Hold on. Happy Friday, all of you. Be right back. Okay, Pop. Wisdom says I heard footsteps my first experience. So Fort Monroe, I have that on camera. I've got footsteps walking right up to me. I say, what the fuck? Hello? And go look around, and nobody was around. Very lucky that I caught those footsteps at Fort Monroe. I'm going to go back there. That was at Quarters 1. It's where Abraham Lincoln stayed way back in the day, Civil War times. Even before that, I think he stayed there. But a lot of famous people were there at Fort Monroe. Edgar Allan Poe. I can't remember the generals' names, but the Confederate general was locked up there. Ulysses S. Grant, I think. I can't remember everything right now, but yeah. Fort Monroe I will be going back to for another investigation soon. Michael, as an 8-year-old, I tried to convince myself that there was a large tree banging on the house. Spectral Whispers. There were no trees that large near the house. Yeah, I've had some weird stuff when I was real young too. The footsteps, I've had what I call real ghost voice, Bridgewater Triangle, and it was like right in my ear, but and at the time I dismissed it as like a dog bark in the distance. But if you go to Real Ghost Voice Bridgewater Triangle and listen to it close enough, it sounds like "Go Away" and a girl saying it. I've tried to show a lot more of when I do get evidence, and it's only very rare that I get what I know is real evidence, but pretty hard to show on YouTube. A lot of people are just like, yeah, whatever, that's, you made that up, you added the sound. I don't do any editing. I don't do any cuts. I do straight investigation, go out, see what I get. If I get something and I can't explain it, I'll show it and say that that is something maybe paranormal that I can't explain at the time. Maybe it was natural, but a lot of the time, if I'm saying something happened, I'm just trying to project to you how I felt at the time. When I got the footsteps at Fort Monroe, I was freaking out. It was a live chat. I think I went another hour or more, and I did not know what to do after the footsteps walked up to me. Someone wearing boots, back and forth. Everyone was asleep. Ryan knows about that story. The footsteps sounded like someone wearing. Oh yes, I do know that story, Michael. Yeah, I was in the bathroom looking for a window and there wasn't one, and I turned back and the door slammed in my face. I ran out of the other side into my master bedroom. Damn, dude, that's crazy wisdom. Spectral whispers almost off my feet before it finally let me go, and I know that story. Then it came running up at me and held me up against a wall. I would not want. I saw a shadow figure in Houghton Mansion. The lights were on, by the way. That's one thing. I don't think there's demons or anything like that. Very angry spirits. Maybe some spirits pretending to be demons. But you'd have to do something really serious to get a demon to attack you or scratch you or do something like that. But I do believe some spirits could possibly touch you. I have had a pinch on the arm thinking Alicia was messing with me on my front porch here, and she did not touch me, and I felt a full pinch. Could it have been a bug or something? I really don't think so. It felt like somebody pinched me. I freaked out. That's probably why I haven't really done much at my house in a while. Alicia and her mom and the kids have left before, and I've been here by myself. My house here is definitely haunted. I try not to mess with it too much. I just acknowledge when things do happen and say hello. Some of my other stories, or even videos on here, in Iowa last year, I got some glowing eyes in a closet. I went and double rechecked that closet this year. My last wasn't long ago. I just did some investigating there. There's no reason for eye shine or reflections or animal. It wouldn't have been an animal. It's just a wall inside a closet. I still can't explain the eyes in the closet, so that's just another one. I've had a lot of things happen that are on film or on here, not film. Speaking of film, I do have old tapes. My sister did a Ouija board with her two friends, and they were down the road from my parents' house in Bridgewater Triangle doing a Ouija board in the basement. They wanted to record it, so I let her use my camera. Old Hi-8 tapes, they're actually like tapes. And what's on that recording, I have to get digitized and put up on here. Eventually I will. It costs money, and I have to find the right tape because I have 100 hours of tape. Old Hi-8 tapes, skateboarding, having fun, parties when we were kids. And then Paul A. Dever is all recorded, except for the Shadow Kid. Probably 2 hours of just walking through the tunnels. The Ouija board, they heard Native American drumming, chanting. You can see the lights flickering on the camera, and then the girls run out of the room. And for months after, the girl Angela said she had activity in her house, like objects moving, lights flickering, power outage, noises, knocking, footsteps. My sister never touched another Ouija board. She didn't do anything with paranormal ever again. She used to love that stuff. She was more into it than I was back then. She doesn't do nothing anymore. She's gotten rid of everything. My friend was outside screaming, "Get out." I ran all the way back to the basement. Window was broken out of. Damn. I've been impressed twice. No demons, though. Yeah, I don't think that you're just going to have a demon attack you. It's getting kind of ridiculous with a lot of some of these fake channels. It's getting to the point like maybe just don't assume hellhole demons. It's probably just spirits. I've had enough experience actually having ghost encounters or weird things happening where you can recognize what's happening. Your whole body will know too. Your hair stands up. You get that weird feeling you're being watched. If someone is making claim you overlaid sound, they have to prove it, not just claim it. Yeah, Friday House. I don't even have to worry about that because what I'm doing right now is how I investigate. I don't even know how to fucking overlay sound. I don't know how to edit. Like, I can edit a little bit, add music if I wanted, but usually I'm playing a radio and then play a video, and you'll hear the music over the video. You'll know when I'm messing around. You know, me running through that cornfield and saying I'm lost and stuff, that was just for fun. It was a little short horror movie. Obviously that was barbed wire. I did scratch my nuts when I went over the barbed wire fence. Don't hawk barbed wire fences when you're drinking, guys. Yeah, that's why I'm more observing ambient sound these days instead of investigating it. Right, so you're just observing. Being an observer can be really good. Just sitting in the quiet, even setting up your equipment and phone and leaving it. I kind of like that. That's why I have a regular manual bell and the little music box that you got to turn the handle for the music to go off. If I could capture some paranormal activity like that, that would be like poltergeist activity, to actually be able to ring a bell or turn a little handle to play some music. I really would like that to happen. Is it going to happen? Could take me another 10, 15 years. Who the hell knows? I'm an amateur. I don't go out with the actual intent of scaring anyone or trying to prove paranormal to anyone. That's not... I'm doing it for myself, mostly, to try and get more evidence from me. And usually I'll know when something is natural. A lot of times it's a bird, an animal. I have had instances like cryptid herd, Bridgewater Triangle. What sounds kind of like an owl, but it sounded more like a monkey. And at the time, we probably should have heard that owl hooting hours before. Like, we had done over an hour of investigating. All of a sudden, when we're asking questions and hanging out in the middle of the abandoned railroad tracks, we hear "Wah!" Up in a tree. It didn't sound right for an owl. I still don't know what that was. Maybe just the owl made a weird noise. I've had other people show me things. My dad himself has showed me a video with something screaming out in the woods, and that was near his deer stand. So he moved his deer stand because it was freaky enough to be like, alright, that's not a regular animal out in the Bridgewater Triangle. It's not a coyote, it's not a wolf or a fox, it's not an owl. It just sounds like screaming. So I can't blame him for moving his deer stand. I would too. But what else are you guys saying? Ryan, Ayla or V-Team Paranormal, she told you that she felt like there was a child spirit there. Maybe that's what you saw. Yes, so I've had things at this house that told me that there is a lady that might have been hung in my backyard. There is a big tree in my backyard. It looks like an old tree. Who knows? But I do know Willoughby Spit, that ghost is supposed to be from the old pirate times, like 1800s. There's a shadow man on that beach, Willoughby Spit, and I've thought I've seen somebody standing next to the ocean, and then felt somebody like right behind me. I ended that live chat right after that. I left. Sometimes I will just leave. If I'm getting that freaked out. I bet that felt nice. Would love to see some history on Ouija boards. Like, did they always have goodbye on them, and was it always part of it in intentions to bring sessions to a close? Ouija boards are older than you think. I believe China, 2,500 years ago, there was an old Ouija board. It's not just a game board that somebody came up with recently. That goes way back. That goes back to even voodoo legends of rolling the bones, even more ancient Ouija board type devices have been used. Mayans, Egyptians, thousands of years ago. So Ouija board is a device that's been used for thousands of years. But no, it was just you, bro. I heard those two. Someone told me it was an owl. I was like, I know the difference between the usual sound and the unusual sounds by now, dude. If you're out in the woods enough, like I grew up camping out in the woods of Maine. Loons, those are just a bird that sit in the water, sound like wolves. A rabbit dying sounds like a lady screaming. You get used to these noises when you're in the woods, or if you're doing that type of exploration enough. Bobcats and foxes can sound really scary. That doesn't mean what you're getting on camera. If you do capture something like that, that's exactly what it is. There are places in this world that we have no idea what's actually going on. Paranormal is real. Ghosts are real. UFOs are real. I'm just going to come out and say that because I get debunking. I get having skepticism. I get the natural causes. I know all the natural causes in a house. I know most outside too. A lot of it can be animals. Inside a house, heating systems can make knocking noises. I've done HVAC. I've done electrical. I've done heating, air conditioning. That's what HVAC is. I've done roofing, carpentry. I've done every job you could do to build a house. Some houses are not settling anymore. It's not just settling noises, such as the footsteps walking up to me at Fort Monroe. That's on concrete. There was nobody around. I could see out in front of me. I could see through the tunnel. There's nobody walking by. There's no cars going by. There's nobody jogging. There was no reason for those footsteps. Still probably one of my better pieces of evidence that has ever happened to me, which is great, but still, trying to show it on YouTube, people are just going to say, well, that's a coincidence. It was an animal or something. And I get the skeptical side, but I've also had enough experiences to know when something's happening. Yeah, even foxes sound like screaming. My first story encounter of ghosts is very long. Short version, I was grooming my horse, and a man seemed to just turn up. He walked about horses for a bit and was just vanished. It was a weird experience. Really cool, Pinky. So, did you see actual person or shadow figure, Pinky? Sometimes I do believe these things can show up as like a regular person. I believe it was a ghost of my great uncle Dan, who had owned the land previously. Very cool. I love stuff like that. And it probably was. I mean, if somebody had passed away on your property or had owned that land long ago, and I don't know, some spirits maybe just don't want to leave that part of their world, so they just hang around. A lot of paranormal spirits and different things like that are traumatic situations, but it's not just your imagination. I have experienced these things with other people around, and they experience the same thing. It's not mass hallucination. It is just what it is. Now, I guess I'll tell this one too, because I was young. So I fell off a car. I was car surfing, had a near-death experience. I had flown off the car maybe 40, 50 miles an hour, landed on my head. I guess I got up, started laughing and walking towards everyone, but my eyes, ears, nose, mouth, my head was bleeding. I wasn't there. I wasn't like aware of this, but I walked back over to them. I grabbed my friend's shoe and filled up his shoe with blood. I remember floating above myself and looking down, so out of body experience. My friend Chesko's standing there over me like, oh fuck. And me bloody on the ground, and then I went somewhere else. I would call it like a void, like a black space, but there were some lights off in the distance. I was still me, I was still there floating around. I couldn't even see my hands. I couldn't tell if I had a body or not. Very tingly, odd feelings, kind of scared. What really scared me was looking down at myself, bleeding on the ground, and then floating off and into a weird void. But then, as I'm looking at the lights in the distance, a big hand came up and grabbed me on the shoulder, pulled me back and said, "You're going to be fine." It was very relaxing and calming. I was not worried at that point at all. I had known I was going to be okay, but then I woke up in a helicopter and got med-flighted into Boston. They thought I cracked my skull open. I had a huge lump on my head, like a cone head. And then next day I was out of the hospital. The doctor's talking about a miracle, not sure how I'm fine, and like woke up and I was fine. I think my memory loss was only for like a week before that. I couldn't remember the week before that, but everything else up to that. Then after the near-death experience, I did start having more out-of-body experiences, kind of by accident. I would lay down and it would be quiet and dark. My whole body would go numb and I would float out of my body. I didn't know what it was back then. I was young. I was like 16. Still one of the more weird ones where I can still do it if I want to. I don't try and do it. There is the Monroe Institute in Virginia. I would like to go to that and try some of the tones. You can play certain tones and practice out-of-body experience. It still kind of freaks me out, but it happens every once in a while. I've had that since I was 16. I'm 38. And a lot of the time it happens by accident. Every once in a while it just happens. Same thing with waving at people down on a beach in the spot of a UFO I saw when I was like 15. It's an out-of-body experience. The dream is super lucid dream, but you're actually not even in your body. I've had out-of-body experience where I've walked through my house thinking I went to the fridge, and then waking up in my bed and walking out and looking and what was on TV, what I just looked at, and where my kid would pass out and my mother-in-law were in this exact same position. So waking up, walking out there and realizing, yeah, I just had an out-of-body experience. Sometimes it just happens by accident. I might not even try and do it. If I try and do it, I can do it. I don't try much. Let's see, he was a horse trainer back in his day. Oh, so yeah, he probably just wanted to go check out the horses and you saw his ghost. A deer almost made me break character, or the other snorted at me and I didn't even see anything, signs that was around. It almost caused a video instead of being quiet. He was like a real person, so I think that can happen too, where you could see a shadow figure or ghost to the effect of wearing clothes, facial features. I believe that. I've only ever seen shadow figures, but it's always been at night. Maybe if it was a little earlier in the day, I could see some like actual facial features and stuff. I'm currently doing some research on that topic. The idea of spirits being bound to places, objects, goes back as far as written history. Yeah, Friday House. So anything that you think Stonehenge. Yeah, that's like on ley lines. There are equinoxes that line up. They believe that was a ritual type site. There are other henges around that probably have burials. People for hundreds and thousands of years have said shadow people are real, ghosts are real. And you can take people for their word, or you can, whatever, it's just fake and they're seeing things. After the amount of experiences I've had, I believe in most stories. If you've had a paranormal experience and you want to tell me, I probably listen a little differently than most would, because I've had my own experiences. Uh, Debunking is good, but we do not understand what is actually going on in this world fully at all. There's science, and then there's actual parascience. We don't know everything. There are things that break physics. There are weird things going on in this world. Uh, it's one of my favorite types of topics just to even think about. Very neat. Oh, hello, Mysteries Untold by Michael Perkin. Mike, you're great outdoors, champ. You can't be talking to yourself. Could you hear anything? Yeah, what? It When I was in my NDE state, when I was gone in the dark place, I would say, it was, you're going to be okay. There's nothing to worry about. I've got you. What I think was my guardian angel felt like a giant hand grabbed me and pulled me out of it. Like it wasn't your time yet. You're close, but you're not supposed to be here, dude. Come with me. I was completely relaxed. When I woke up in the helicopter, they were asking me questions like, who's the president? What day is it? I had no idea what day it was, but I did say Bill Bush, because it was between Bill Clinton and George Bush, and the presidents were, the election or whatever. And the guy was like, that's not bad. He's pretty good. Passed back out. Nothing like that happened after I passed back out. Once I woke up in the helicopter, it was over. There was no more. I didn't see anything or hear anything after that. But with my near-death experience from when I fell off the car to getting picked up by a helicopter and waking up in the helicopter, so I remembered everything that had happened while I was gone, which I guess is weird, but a lot of people have near-death experiences and don't remember anything. I remember everything like it was yesterday. I can visualize this stuff. Every paranormal experience, every UFO, if I just close my eyes, I can see it. It was like it happened yesterday to me. I still have the UFO dream once in a while, waving down at my sister and friends. I've been doing an hour and a half. Alright, I finished my beer too, so I'm probably going to get out of here, but I will be doing more investigation. Hi, Laura. I shouted you out, just so you know. I will be doing more paranormal investigations at Fort Monroe. Then I'll probably go to Willoughby, spit ghosts on the beach. More UFO lookout. More scary stuff, more scary stories. Movie recommendations. I try not to get into any drama or anything like that. There's a lot of drama going on in the paranormal fields, and I just don't get into it, so I don't really care. I don't even mind if you don't believe my stories. That's up to you. I like to just tell my stories. If you're new here, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much. These are all first-hand experiences. These are things that really happened to me. I'm not trying to make up anything and make you believe it. If you believe it or not, it don't matter. Not to me. I already know. Adelaide Haunted Horizons in 10 minutes? Okay. Thanks, Spectral Whispers, for putting up her post. Oh yeah, raw side, Laura, if you do want some info, I know you're already talking to somebody about the Borden House, but Spectral Whispers knows a lot about the Borden House. Lizzie Borden. She is definitely the person who I would ask anything about some of the weird stuff. And I've never even been in there. I've never been to the Lizzie Borden house. I was next to the Lizzie Borden house and putting a roof on. And yeah, I could tell from where I was that house it has energy. It has its own feel. I've driven past it 100 times. I would like to go in there. Not a problem. I did go through a lot of stories. Maybe 40 minutes in, I gave out so many shout outs. I really tried to shout out everybody that I know in the paranormal community. I really appreciate all you guys. I think I'm going to go eat some dinner and see if my wife will get me another beer. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have a great one. I'll be back very soon with another live investigation. More than likely Fort Monroe. Yeah, if you guys have anything you want to ask me or say before I go. Oh, you did talk? Oh, good, Spectral Whispers. Yeah, if you got it, like, even for experiences, Spectral Whispers would be an interesting interview there, Laura. Definitely. If you have any questions or you want to know exactly when I'm going to do I don't know when I'm going to do my next investigation. I think tomorrow it's going to be thunderstorms. I have thunderstorms coming in right now, which I can actually see. But Monday, excuse me, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I think it's 87 clear skies, Monday and Tuesday. As long as it's not too hot and there's not too much going on at Fort Monroe, I'll be going back there. Oh, so a few more things. So Ripley's, believe it or not, they have a place down the street. I want to get to Ripley's, believe it or not. I plan on going to historic Williamsburg, like the old settlements. So that's here in Virginia, Jamestown. Maybe I'll do more tours of Yorktown. I just won't be going in there late at night and, the cops come. Because I have had that happen. But, I love all you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I will be back very soon. Day or two. We'll do some more live chats like this. Live investigations. And then probably just some silly videos that I'm going to maybe go skateboard. Go fishing again. I don't know. UFO watch? If anybody's up for a UFO watch, I'll go do that again. As long as it's clear skies. Nope, just looking forward to Monday. Yep, so me, Michael Birkin here. Monday, I believe, what is it for you, 11 o'clock or 10? I can't remember the time switch. But me, Michael Birkin, Friday House, and Matt will probably be chatting, shooting the shit, talking all this weird paranormal stuff. There is a lot going on in the world right now that I wasn't getting into. The bogosphere, Boogosphere, Hidalgo, Mexico. There's a lot of weird stuff under the pyramids. There's a lot of weird archaeological finds. Amelia Earhart's airplane might have been found. There's a ton of stuff I'm going to get into with Michael Birkin, Friday House. Alright, Wisdom. If nothing else going on, I will be there. Thank you. Message me, Spectral, we can set something. Yeah, definitely you guys talk, because it's pretty incredible, some of her stories. I've heard them all, but sometimes I forget to tell other people, like, maybe I should tell my sister to go on to some of these, like talk to Laura and tell her your Ouija board story, because it's insane. First hand account, instead of me saying from what I've seen on a video camera. You could talk to my sister. I don't know if she would want to. She might. I can ask her. But I really appreciate all you guys. I'm heading out. I'm going to go get more beer and some food. Peace out. See you guys on Monday on Michael's channel. I think. Michael Birkin, you're doing it on your channel, right? Mysteries Untold. And, have fun. Keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes peeled for the paranormal. Have a good night, all of you. Peace out.